I calculated for my next 40 years of work, so till, I get to the pension, I calculated how much vacation I was supposed to have. And I came to 3.5 years for the next 40 years with 30 days vacation. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, oh my God, I have 3.5 years to live life on my own terms.
But then when you actually do it, it's scary. It's really, really scary. You do need a lot of courage.
Welcome to the Alchemy of Success coffee break.
I'm Pedro.
And I'm Anna. And we are so excited to share with you that we are launching now a full series of episodes creating or shifting from employee mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset. And what do you need if you're currently unemployed? What do you need in order not only to create this mindset, but also to explore different business opportunity, to find your areas of skill set, talents, and your niche, the clients, the problems you're willing to serve, and how to actually start it. And the reason why we decided to create this series of episodes is because actually Pedro and I, we both are born in families that doesn't have the entrepreneurial mindset. We come from a family of people who are employed, and the way how we learned that, how to say, successful life works is go to school, go to university, and start working for companies and go there for 30, 40 plus years, till you go to the time of your life where you are to go into pension. This part of your life where the people think, okay, you need to go to retirement because you cannot add any more value to the society. And we both, in a part of our life or at a point in our life, started questioning, is it actually that real path in our life? And needed to shift from this employee mindset to the entrepreneurial mindset. And that's why we decided we could be like a quantum jumps for you and to help you go through this process a little more guided and a little more soft and ease than we both did it. So, Pedro, I want to ask you something. And I know in some of the previous episodes you have shared it, but here now focus on exactly this shifting mindset from employee to the entrepreneurial person you have become. As when this happened, and why did you decide back there to do this shift? And in what point in life you were when you decide to do this shift?
Mm-hmm. So I decided to do this after I had a conversation with my wife, and during that conversation, I realized that what really has brought me a lot of joy, which is one of the most important things I'll tell you right now, is understanding what the joy is, what really you're passionate about. So after I understood what the joy is, then I decided I'm going to say I understood that what I was currently doing at that time, which is working in corporate, executive ranks, doing what I need to do for my company, large company. But essentially, I decided to shift and do something that that has brought me a lot of joy that I didn't actually realize because it happened at different periods of my career. So I decided to jump because I wanted to follow that passion, that I felt I needed to explore. And I will tell you exactly how I felt soon. It was not, it was a little scary after you actually decide to make that jump.
But
So
then
you want me to go into that? Or
before you go into that, I
yeah.
want to ask you something. But I okay, you were in a one position that you were working, and you wanted
Mhm.
to shift in another direction. But is it not possible just to decide to change your work position, not going, not just like, okay, I'm going and to be an entrepreneur and open my own business, but wasn't be able for you to follow your passion, not as an employee, not as an entrepreneur, but as an
Right,
employee.
right. So for me, maybe there was a way to do that, but for me, I've always liked to do things my way. So so why not do something that theoretically brings you a lot of joy and build it the way you want to build it, right? So and basically bet on yourself. That's the other thing, is can you bet on yourself? And I wanted to go down that path, is I want to rely on me. And, and yeah, so that's what I did.
Okay. So that means one of the first steps, just to point it out to our listener, is not just, okay, I understand, because maybe somebody wanted to start a business in the area they already are working, right?
Mhm.
But to go on your own. So that means the reason why you choose to create your business and to bet on yourself and to be your own boss and to be the one giving the exactly direction, strategy, how you wanted to do it, and no, not to follow up a strategy or way how somebody else do it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. So then bring me through the process. How did you feel when you met this decision, when you
Yeah, when
did
I made
this
the
decision?
decision. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So, which is basically servicing other people. That's where I decided to go into that industry. If you have the ability to do something, make sure you do it in increments. Test it. Work part time. I mean, at least start diving into it. See if you can start. Maybe you cannot. Like me, I felt I cannot do that. The reason I felt I cannot do that is because my job is very demanding. So if to put 50, 60 hours in one job and then put another 20 hours of exploring, then when am I not working? It didn't make any sense to me. So either I do this or I don't do this, because I did not have time to allocate serious time that it deserves to something else while I was still working, because my job is very demanding.
Mhm.
So if you don't have that scenario in that case, then perhaps you could start exploring a little bit, maybe an hour or two per day, or maybe an hour or two per week. Start that. But you should try to get at least a little bit more comfortable what that is. And when you are ready to make that jump, then go ahead and decide it. But I tell you right now, to make a cold jump like I did, went from A to B. There was no middle. I literally went from left to right. It was scary. It was uncomfortable. So I'm telling you right now, get ready to be uncomfortable, because you're diving into the unknown. That's what corporate gives you, is security, predictability. So you have the predictable income coming in. You have the security knowing that, okay, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to do that because I have the ability to understand where the money's coming from. So that's why people like to stay there, because it's safe. It's considered safe. But nothing great has ever come into anybody's life that's always been safe, from my perspective. Some of the greatest successes in history are people that take the risks. They don't go to college. All these successful billionaires, they feel something passionate about themselves and they go ahead and dive into that. So make sure you have that gene. I do recommend that. Make sure you have that inner strength, because it's not going to be easy, and that's okay. So be strong enough to think that you're going to be okay, but don't think that it's going to be a piece of cake, because it's not. You're starting from scratch. Doesn't have to be painful, but you need to do your homework. So yeah.
Okay. So okay, as we're talking about shifting from employee mindset to entrepreneurial mindset, for example, my personal way how I did it was different than Pedro. Maybe I would say maybe the way how he kind of recommended it, but the reason why I decided to go into entrepreneurial, into building my own business is it wasn't because I was thinking of, oh, I can do something else, or what I'm doing I don't like it or doesn't make sense. It wasn't like that. For me, how it's actually started is like, I came across a book and started asking about the question, why we are here on earth, what is our purpose, and what legacy we're going to leave. And these books stayed in my conscious mind, or subconscious mind, for 2-3 years. And then I was looking, not consciously, but subconsciously, for opportunity, how I can build something part-time. And the reason for this was I was on a vacation in Thailand. And I know, Pedro, you in USA, you are even way worse with vacation time than we in Germany, or as I was living in Germany. So we at least had like 30 days fixed vacation, I know the mindset in America is completely even worse on this direction. But I was enjoying my vacation in Thailand with my family. And I was on the beach, and I kept on getting messages from my colleagues, because I was the project manager and they wasn't able to solve some problems that I had the information. And I was like, okay, I'm on a vacation and I still get on the request. And I was sitting there, and I don't know how it came to my mind. Free, decide with who to spend it, where to spend it, what to do it, with whom to work with or not to work with. And I was sitting there, how insane is that? And you need to know about me. One of my highest value is freedom. So actually freedom kind of doesn't fit so good with being employed, at least in my mind back there, in my perception back there. So I was sitting there and say, oh my God, I need to find a way where I can go out, or I can create something on my own, so I can decide how this structure to be working. Because now, even if during a vacation I get reach out and ask for work, so it wasn't even like really free time. And I started a part-time business. So that's what Pedro say is, I find a way in the area of like nutrition and well-being, because I always had a passion for this. My mom is a doctor, so I always wanted to find a better way to keep myself healthy and my well-being high without drugs, without pharmaceutical drugs and all this kind of stuff, because as a child I was struggling with a lot of this. And that's why I had the passion for nutrition, for health, wellness, whatever. So that is how I came into this industry. And I was building it part-time.
Which industry? The network marketing?
It was the network marketing industry, exactly. So in the network marketing, stem cells, epigenetics, so like really high-level products, and I really enjoy it. And I saw the value for my child, for my family, for myself. I was always the person to recommend things when I like it. So marketing and promotion was like always in my blood when I believe in the value, okay? And I was, okay, I'm currently working as an employee in the area of like marketing, strategy, ecosystems, whatever. But I love this area, so I built it part-time. And what I did is I get the permission from my company to do this part-time. So they were aware of this, okay? And I start building it part-time. But what happened is also when you build a network marketing business is you build a lot of skills. So that what Pedro said is, learn step by step to build a skill set before you completely jump into the cold water. And I found out by building the skills that I needed to expand my business, I started getting also better in my work. So that means I get more recognition in my work. I get like better position. Um, and I was able to shift also the area where I was working. But something similar like you, Pedro, what happens to me in one point of building my business part-time to my full-time, I just keep realizing how unhappy I am, and also how do you say, bore out? So not burnout, but bore out. I
Mhm.
start feeling under challenge in my work. I start feeling like, okay, that's like I cannot go anymore and keep this safe income, and I do my work and I'm good what I do and build like my part-time business. So there came a time in building the business and working my job that I really love my team and my job and my company completely, where I just understood if I don't shift completely to my business, I won't break through a ceiling. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
of course, like you said, you have less time to invest there. You're investing in a full-time job, and I'm also a mom. So that means that is also kind of a job in some terms. So in one point, I dropped my employee work and I focus on building the business. And that is where acceleration started also happening.
So let me ask you this though. Hold on, don't skip that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel when you finally made that decision in your mind and then you actually took the step
Okay,
of
let
leaving your
me
job?
let me tell you something. I didn't make this decision consciously. I make this decision unconsciously. And because I truly believe in that universe is cause and effect, or what we experience in the outside world is a reflection of the inner world. Back there, I wasn't aware, but inside of me, I was like constantly fighting between what's my passion is, and again this urge for freedom and self creation, and the other one, like, following the guidance of the company that you're working for. So that means internally I was earning for like really looking for this, but I was scared. Why? As you said, a company or employment job gives you a nice payment, a security, a stability. I really loved my team. I really liked my company a lot. And there was so much benefits. So for my logical Virgo mind, it made no sense to drop the job. So that was like my ego or my self-sabotaging part that tried to give me all this positive aspect of staying employed. But when you once started shifting into the awareness of, oh my God, even if I have no experience in entrepreneurship or in building business, I can learn it. It's a skill set. And when you find the right direction that really gives you joy, you can learn the skills, right? You don't need to be born in the environment that is made of entrepreneur or to be grown. You can learn this skill set. It's literally a skill set. So my brain, where I studied, finished university, went through the school, like put so many years over years experience. How can I drop then 12 years of expertise in working in a company? It was afraid. So what I actually did is unconsciously, I caused the effect that I get fired from my company. And I'm so grateful for this. So there was a misunderstanding, and I could actually go there. I had the chance to go there and clear the misunderstanding. But that is where I felt it's not my path. So I took a leap of faith to say, okay, that is actually what I was looking for, but I was scared to do it because I really had this security and safe, and I like, the people around me. But when it happens, I just trusted. I just trusted that what life gave me, the way how it gives it to me, it's the right path to go.
So you were pushed
I was pushed. Yeah,
to take that step.
I was like literally kicked down of the edge of the mountain, like free fall, free fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so like we're talking about the shift, right, from employee mindset to entrepreneurial mindset. It's definitely what I've learned throughout the 3 years that I've been doing this already. It takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
It's not something that's so easy. It's the freedom is fantastic, absolutely. But remember, when you have freedom, that means you're also not working. So that's why you need to establish some constant revenue stream, whatever that is, to help you offset that. But I'm just saying there's a lot of things that we're going to talk into in the future episodes of what it actually means. But to have the right mindset is super critical, and the right belief in yourself, because you are going to need that. The belief, the core belief in yourself that you can do this, you can learn new skill sets. Okay. So it's super important to have that positive mindset and that motivating being and self-awareness of what you're really good at. And all these things we're going to talk about in future episodes. But start with a mindset, start with a self-belief, because when there's a challenge, you cannot be in a position where you're going to be, okay, this is wrong and going to quit, or you're going to make wrong decisions because of fear. So that's why if you're going to make this decision, make sure it's a conscious decision as much as you can, because it will help you to go through the really deep pitfalls that sometimes we might go through. I'm not saying that you will, but you might go through. So it's a really strong thing to experience.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But be ready.
And I like to give you one last also understanding that I gained from it, because we both started with searching for freedom, right? Or we create something our own. But what we need to tell you from the beginning, with the freedom comes also the full responsibility. So that means freedoms is equal full responsibility, because you cannot have a full freedom if you're not willing to take full responsibility for the direction you're going, for the experiences, and also for the successes, right? But it's responsibility, and this need to be something that you are willing to take, because depending on what kind of business you're building, maybe you're gonna have employees, so you will be responsible for them also, or to provide for their security, for their direction. So be aware that with big freedom comes also big responsibility, and that is what Pedro also say, with like, have the right mindset.
And the first responsibility, the most important one in regards to shifting the mindset, is make sure you have a runway of cash or of money, of assets, to give you the opportunity to try it out, right? To experiment. Okay, is this something that, number one, I thought I was passionate about? Am I really passionate about? Number two is this a viable business that I could be in, be happy in, and still support my family? So make sure that you are in that state where you can do this. If not, it's okay to wait and go ahead and process and build your income, build your safety net to actually do this, so you have less fear when you hit an obstacle, when an expense comes from out of left field. You're not going to panic and all of a sudden quit just because you weren't financially prepared enough to at least take the runway for 6 months to a year. Whatever that means to you. And we'll discuss all of this even more detail in future episodes. But the first is, it is really, really important to ensure that you have the financial stability for X number of months to maybe a year, to ensure that you have the conscious and the strength to go ahead and plow through anything that comes in your way. So that's also obviously a recommendation when
Or
you're changing
build
your
it
mindset.
part-time, as I was doing it in the
Exactly.
part-time.
Build it
Build
part-time, build up your nest. Absolutely. 100%. So in the next episode, we're going to be discussing how to explore the passion of the business that you're going to be in, that you want to open up. So stay tuned.
See you there. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Click on one of the videos below and don't forget to like and subscribe.